Good morning, everyone. My name is Phương Ly Pham. Welcome to the course Food Waste Management. This is the study unit Food Waste Prevention, Reduction, Identification, Quantification, and Measurement. We will start with the first module, which is about food waste identification, quantification, and measurement. In this module, you will learn about the foundation of food waste analysis across the entire food supply chain, setting the context for the understanding where, how, and why food waste occur. In particular, you will learn about the method to identify and quantify food waste and interpret the data to support evidence-based decision making. All of these skills are important for developing the reduction strategy and meeting the broader sustainability goal. You also see the real-life example and practical tool so you can build the competency in analytical thinking, process assessment, and waste monitoring, which are directly applicable in every stage of the food system. By the end of this module, you will be able to analyze where and why food waste occur across all stages of the food supply chain, including agriculture, processing, distribution, and consumption. You can understand the role and the procedure of food waste quantification and how to use the result of quantification to identify priority for reduction strategy. And finally, you can also be able to select and apply suitable method to measure food waste level in different cases. So in this first lesson, food waste in food supply chain, we will discuss about the key concept in food waste analysis, fundamental of food supply chain, then the identification of food waste and analysis of cause of waste. Food waste is indeed a major global challenge because around one third of all food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted each year. This amount corresponds to 33%, which is a really large amount. This problem represents a significant waste of natural resources and it leads to the financial loss and also environmental impact, including climate change and pollution. When you hear about food waste, maybe you think about the waste during the consumption, but actually food waste can occur at any stage of the supply chain, not in any particular stage. You must have heard about food loss and food waste, but do you know what is the difference between them? Firstly, food loss refer to the food that unintentionally lost due to environmental, technical, or logistical issue. Some of these factors, for example, the environmental factor, are not preventable, while the other factor, like technical or logistical factor, require time, investment, and many effort to improve. So it is difficult to prevent food loss. For example, you can see the picture on the right, the strawberry are moldy because they are infected by the fungal disease, which is caused by excessive humidity from the heavy rain. On the other hand, food waste usually happen at a later stage, like retail and household, when food that is still edible is discarded because of human decision or behavior. For example, you can see in the photo a person is throwing the leftover away. Maybe they don't like the food or for some reason they cannot keep it for any longer. Another example is the excessive meal prepared in the factory canteen that are discarded at the end of the day due to the canteen policy. This is the table I made to compare the two terms food loss and food waste. As you can see, they happen in different places. They have different causes. However, food waste is often avoidable because they stem from the human decision. Food waste can be preventable through education, planning, or policy. Food loss, in contrast, is very much harder to prevent. In many contexts, you can see food waste is used as a broader term because it helps make discussion and policy more accessible. Also, in our lesson from now on, we can use food waste as a general term for both waste and loss. In order to understand where and why food waste occur, we need to analyze every single stage of the food supply chain. Firstly, we have agriculture. This is a very first step of the food system where all the raw material are produced. In developing country where technology and infrastructure are obsolete or limited, there could be a significant share of global food loss that occur before the product even leaves the farm. In the processing stage, there is a stage where the operation gives the add value to the food material. The operation can range from the very simple one like sorting, washing, and cutting to the more complex one like fermentation or thermal treatment. Then we have distribution. There is a connection between the food processor and the consumer. Because the consumption is the final stage of the food supply chain. It includes household, restaurant, canteen, food service in general. Most weight of this level is considered food waste as it results primarily from human behavior and decision. At the agriculture stage, the waste or loss can be anything that is rotten, spoiled, or infected by disease. And sometimes edible raw material can be rejected because they do not meet the commercial quality standard. The extreme environmental event like heavy rain, food heat waves, or storm can directly or indirectly damage the plant, the fruit, or even the livestock. Harvesting technique can have a huge effect on the quality of the product because the manual harvesting is gentler but it's slower, so it can cause the overmaturation of the fruit, for example. And mechanical harvesting, in contrast, is faster, but they can cause more damage, physical damage in particular. The post-harvest condition is a very important factor because inappropriate temperature or humidity can accelerate the maturation of the fruit or the product, and they can eventually lead to the spoilage. The strict aesthetic standard, so is about the consumer and quality standard, can lead to the rejection of product with minor imperfection, even thought they are perfectly edible and safe. At the processing stage, the waste can be the material that is damaged or spoiled that is rejected during the routine quality control. Also, the final product can be rejected and eliminated because they do not meet the strict quality standard. One thing I need to specify is byproduct is not a waste. Byproduct is a side stream that always comes side by side with your processed product. So no matter how good your operation is, you will always obtain them together with the processed material. Usually they are not edible or intended for human consumption, but there is some case byproduct can be edible. For example, one of the rare cases is the molasses from sugar production. In this stage, a poor production planning or human error can easily lead to the elimination of food material. Both raw material or the material during the operation. The food safety and quality standard is made to protect the consumer, but they can also lead to the elimination of food product even for just a slight deviation. The equipment limitation and inefficiency can lead to the excessive elimination of edible fraction of material. And also the outdated or poorly optimized technology can increase the failure rate and reduce efficiency. For example, for the clarification of the fruit juice, there is a product, a technology that is called membrane filtration. It is very efficient, but it also requires a high initial investment cost. Many small or medium food processors still use traditional sedimentation technology, which require lower investment costs, but they are not every efficiency at all. During the distribution stage, any product that is physically damaged, spoiled, or expired will be eliminated. Sometimes unsold products are also removed to make space for the new product, new inventory. During this stage, a delay or mishandling during logistics can cause the rejection of the product. The inventory management is very important because a poor stock rotation, inaccurate demand forecasting, or overstocking can lead to the expiration of product and eventually the elimination. The product can be recalled if there's a safety or quality issue. Many often you see in supermarket or retail the shelf of fresh fruit and vegetable is always full even at the end of the day because it is a policy that often adopted by the retailer, but it also leads to a massive quantity of food waste. Again, the condition of storage is always important because even a small deviation due to equipment malfunction can lead to the spoilage of the product. At consumption stage, the waste, the food material or the product that are spoiled or expired. And sometimes the food can also be discarded due to personal preference. Because the cost at household level and food service level are very different, so we need to analyze them separately. At the household level, the habit of overpurchasing and the poor meal planning lead to a large quantity of food waste. At this stage, misunderstanding of expiration date is a very common cause. Many people are confused between the term best before and used by. The best before term indicates the quality and not the safety. So even if a food product has passed the best before date, they could be still edible. However, the quality could be declined. On the other hand, the term used by is strictly indication of the safety. Again, the inadequate storage equipment is a cause of waste. This is not a human behavior, but a limitation in storage technology. Control factor is a little bit particular because in some countries, preparing excessive food is associated with hospitality or social status, leading to the uneaten leftover. And finally, personal preference. Some people can discard food that appear only a little bit wilted or stale, even if it's perfectly edible. A food service level. The error in forecasting and planning. The overestimating the number of customers can lead to the overproduction. But sometimes, for example, in the buffet service, the overproduction is intentional because they want to make the food container always full to appear attractive to the consumer, to the customer. And food service policy can play an important role because many food providers eliminate the unserved food at the end of the day instead of donating or redistributing. Customer decision could be they do not like the food or they cannot finish the food because the portion is a little bit larger, and sometimes for some reason some unexpected interruption during the meal they have to leave the dish unfinished. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the lesson. In the next lesson, we will discuss about the quantification of food waste and how to develop food waste reduction strategy based on the result of quantification. See you next time.